In today's recipe, I'm going to use cream cheese, hot smoked sausage, ground beef 1 pound, minced garlic, sea salt, Montreal steak seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, thyme, basil, parsley flakes, Italian seasoning, Worcestershire, thin spaghetti pasta, an assortment of onion, bell peppers, and tomatoes, some tomato powder that I'm going to use to make my sauce, and I have more to demonstrate how I powdered it. Hey foodies, welcome to Foodie Friday. My name is Keisha and this is my channel, Saving Greens Homestead, and I welcome you. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I try and put out every Friday a recipe or something, and recently I had a series of tomato tasting and reviews on Foodie Friday. So if you haven't watched those, I encourage you to go back and watch those, especially if you love tomatoes like I do. And tonight I am going to show you how I make my marinara sauce, and everything is from scratch, using tomatoes out of my garden, peppers, everything is from scratch. And also in my last week's video, I was telling you guys about tomato powder, and in the midst of me trying to show you how I did it, my camera messed up. So tonight I'm going to show you how I powdered the tomatoes, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to use it in my dish for my family for dinner tonight. So let's get this started. Okay, so first I want to show you how I just use my blender, and I have the tomatoes already in here. I thought for the sake of time, it'd just be easier for me to already put them in here, but they are in here and crispy and ready to be powdered. So I'm going to show you how I do that by using my blender here. Okay, so I have my powder that I just made in here. I'm gonna add that to this recipe when I go to do my sauce. So I don't know if I have enough tomato powder, because this is my first time reconstituting it to use to make marinara sauce. So I don't know if I have enough powder for the amount of spaghetti and meat that I'm using. So that's why I have the extra peppers and onion and tomatoes. And usually what I do is I usually buy tomato paste anyways, and I'll buy a can of diced tomatoes when I make my marinara sauce. So me chopping up the tomatoes and the peppers and the onion and stuff is going to be kind of like that. And then the powder is going to be kind of like the substitute for the tomato sauce and the pasta and the tomato paste. Okay, so now all I did was cut and chop up my onions and tomatoes and bell peppers. And so I'm going to try and get this lid on. I got it filled up just a little bit much, but I'm just gonna chop these up. Okay, so I got this all pureed in here. I'm gonna add this to all the other ingredients to make this sauce. Okay, you guys, I have this set on medium heat, and I'm just gonna put my ground beef in to get it started. Break this up. It was hot in this kitchen. So I went and turned on my AC. You might can hear it in the background, but usually I don't turn on my AC because it's so noisy inside. But I just couldn't help it, you guys. It is burning up. Oh my goodness. Okay, so while this is cooking, I'm gonna add in my spicy sausage. You guys, I like having meat in my marinara sauce and with my pasta, but you don't have to have it. You could just start off with a little olive oil and then put the ingredients that you saw me do in the food processor, pour that in, or a little olive oil and your tomato powder, and then add some water to your desired thickness that you want. But I am using meat in mine because I love meat. So and this meat is browning up nicely. So I'm gonna add in the tomato powder, and then I'm also start adding in my seasonings. So I'm gonna add in some minced garlic, some basil leaves, and I'm just eyeballing this, you guys. I don't ever really measure out my seasonings. Parsley flakes, thyme, and I always start off with a little and I add more as I go if I need it. Italian seasoning, garlic powder, because you know I love garlic. So yes, I put minced and powder, onion powder, and I like using this Montreal steak seasoning. I use it in a lot of things. I like it because it has cracked pepper, black pepper in it, but it also has so many other good seasonings. So I really just love that one. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of mix this around, and then I'm gonna add some water to it. I hope you guys can see what that looks like. The tomato powder is starting to reconstitute already because of the meat juice that was in here. So let me add some water. And you guys, I'm adding hot water to this hot pot. Always stress that. You always put in hot water to a hot pot, because you don't want to lose your momentum that you have of the heat. If you put cold water in here, or just, you know, what comes out of the faucet, it's gonna set you back on your cooking time a little bit, because then the heat has to come back up to temperature again to start where you left off. So look at that. That looks good. Okay, but since I'm going to be adding those other peppers and tomatoes and stuff, I do not want to add more water because I don't want this to be watery. I want it to cook down fast so that it doesn't take long and my kids can eat. So, you guys, this smells good already, just like how it is. And I suppose I could just add a little bit more water to this and some salt, and this will be ready to go this way. But I have a bigger family, so I need this to be a lot more anyway. So I'm gonna add this. mixture that I had blended up to put in here, and then I'm just gonna let this all cook down. And then once this is cooked down, I'm gonna add in, I'm gonna taste and see how my seasoning is, and then I'm gonna add in more seasoning if necessary and go from there. So I will be back. Okay, you guys, so this is looking really, really good. I am going to add in a little bit of salt and the rest of my seasonings, and then I'm gonna taste it. Okay, so here's the salt. And then I'm gonna add a little of this Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna give it a taste. Oh man. That tastes so good. You guys, my house smells so great already. But that tastes divine. I'm gonna add in a little more salt to it. A little bit more salt. Just a little bit more Worcestershire. I wish you guys could smell this. I'm gonna give it a stir. Oh man, I'm just getting everything everywhere. I always make a mess. I try not to, but sometimes I guess it's just how it happens. Okay, I'm gonna give it one more taste. Okay. Now, the last thing I'm going to add to this is the cream cheese. I started this whole thing one time and one time only. I put cream cheese in my marinara sauce, just trying something different. And my hubby, Mr. Saving Greens, loved it so much that he was like, okay, Keisha, every time you make marinara sauce, this is how I want it. He's like, every single time. So, okay. So that's why I add cream cheese to my sauce. All because of that one time. And it's just stuck over the years. So I'm just chunking this up so it'll be easier to mix in while I'm making a mess. I'm always making messes. I try not to, but you know, sometimes it's just unavoidable. Make sure I get all of this cream cheese in. And now I'm going to mix this around. If you've not tried cream cheese mixed in your marinara sauce, I encourage you to try it. It is so good. It just adds another dimension of flavor to it. It really does. And you guys, I didn't mention this in the beginning when I listed all of my ingredients because I wasn't sure if I was gonna need it or not. But in my marinara sauce, I usually add a little sugar to counter the acidity of the tomatoes. But since I had dehydrated some very sweet cherries and mixed them in that tomato powder, I didn't think I was gonna need it. But it does, it could use a little bit of sugar. So I'll just add that in there and get this all mixed around and get this cream cheese all melted in and mixed in. I know the color seems off on my camera, and I'm sorry for that. I was trying to use my other ring light that I have that I can adjust the different I guess the filter of light that is picking up, but yeah, it's just not working. It didn't work. I was standing over there trying to get it to work and it just would not work. It refused. So I think this is a good amount of sauce too for the 1 pound of noodles that I have. And I'm just gonna mix the noodles in here. Sometimes I like to keep the noodles separate, but most times I just mix it all in because it's just easier that way for me. And when I'm serving it, and I like saucy noodles anyway. So okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my noodles. I'm gonna turn off my burner because everything is ready. I'm just gonna coat these noodles in the sauce. And there we have it. Tonight's easy dinner. This was so easy, you guys. It didn't take long for the tomatoes to cook, the peppers and onion and all that to cook down. And it just smells so good. And even better than that, it tastes fantastic. The sauce do. But you guys, you know what time it is. It is time to plate it up. So I will be back once I get this plated so I can wrap up this Foodie Friday dinner for you tonight. I'll be back. Okay, you guys, so I guess the lighting isn't even that much better. I have a lot of soft lighting and I needed more white light, and so I was trying to do that, but it just didn't happen. You guys, if you could smell this, you know, I wish I could share it with each and every one of you who are watching. Whoever watches this video, I wish I could just climb right through the screen and be like, here's your plate. But I can't do that. So anyways, I am gonna try this. You already know what I think about the sauce. All I did was add noodles to it. So you can imagine already with this, how I'm gonna feel about this. You guys, it turned out perfect. I can taste all the homegrown yummy goodness in this. Clean up my face. That is some good stuff. Or as Mr. Greens would usually say, that is some good freaking stuff. Well, this will be dinner for him for tomorrow night at work. Tonight, it's for me and my kids. So, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm being interested in my little recipe for how I make my marinara sauce. The tomato powder was a hit because it replaced the tomato paste that I usually use. And just blending up in the food processor the tomatoes and onions and bell pepper was good because it replaced the diced tomatoes that I usually use. And the tomato sauce part was just covered all in between with both of them. So this was a huge success. It was good. It tastes good. Everything is on point. The only thing left to do is for me to fix plates for my kids and for me to sit down and enjoy this meal. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me this Friday. Next Friday, I'm gonna have another recipe. I don't know, it might be another tomato review. I saw some tomatoes out there. They're not quite ready yet, but they could be ready by that time. As always, God bless.